Welcome to the Sprite Cup Series Season 5. We're live at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Quaker State 400, the 5th race of the season. After today, we'll be a quarter of the way through Season 5. It's a beautiful day for racing. Let's take a look at your drivers to watch for. Bubba Wallace starts on pole for today's race. He's good at these super speedways. Expect him to run at the front. Eric Almirola starting on the outside pole today. He's also really good at the super speedways. Former winner of the super speedways as well. He's won at Talladega, Daytona, and Tiburon. Hoping to add Atlanta to that list. Kyle Larson, current points leader, has almost a 20-point gap between him and Kyle Busch. He hopes to extend that points lead today. Noah Gragson, qualifying up front. He's fresh off a top 5 finish last week at Bristol. He hopes to continue that success here today at Atlanta. Ryan Preece DNF'd last week at Bristol after a stretch of good finishes. He hopes to correct that today. Kevin Harvick has not had the best start to the season. He won the Daytona 500, but then DNF'd in race 2 in North Wilkesboro, then finished 19th at Dover, and last week at Bristol, he finished 15th. He hopes for at least a top 10 here today at Atlanta. And Kyle Busch, second place point man. The guy who finished second last week starts dead last today at Atlanta. He's going to have to plow his way through a minefield of cars to get to the front. Now let's go trackside for the command.
Drivers! Start your engines!
Cars fired up and roll off for 12 laps around Atlanta. Now let's look at your starting lineup. On the pole is Bubba Wallace, and to his outside, on the outside pole is Eric Almirola. Then we have Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain. Behind them, it's Alex Bowman and Harrison Burton. Then we have Denny Hamlin and rookie Noah Gragson. And it's Joey Logano and rookie Ty Gibbs. Behind them, Chris Buescher and Eric Jones. And we have Martin Truex Jr. and William Byron. Behind them, Austin Dillon and Brad Keselowski. And we have rookie Ryan Preece and Ryan Blaney to his outside. And we have defending series champion Kevin Harvick, along with Chase Elliott. And we have Daniel Suarez and Christopher Bell. Behind them, Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric. And running at the field, it is Kyle Busch. Second time ever that we're racing on this new super speedway configuration of Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're ready for green flag racing. Pace car pulls off. Green flag is out in the air. Wallace moves up to the high side in front of Eric Almirola. It's field 2x2. As they round Atlanta. Trouble! Kyle Larson smoking. Everyone else is able to get around him. Caution is out. The 5 of Kyle Larson had smoke coming out of the back of that car. And he's just radioed to his crew that either he blew the engine or it just straight up overheated. Very unusual for a Hendrick car to do that, because their mechanics work around the clock to make sure that their cars are in tip-top shape and have race-winning speed. No doubt that there's going to be an investigation tonight into what happened to Kyle Larson. Tough break for him. He's out of the race. We're ready to restart on lap 4 out of 12 here at Atlanta. Bubba Wallace will be your leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. He moves up to the high lane in front of Eric Almirola. That's the bottom line. Starts to lose momentum. Here comes Almirola to the inside as the inside has gained back its momentum. Here comes the Legacy Motor Club cars of Eric Jones and Noah Gregson. They move into the top 5. Here comes Gregson to the middle. Oh, trouble in the back. 4 cars involved. Ryan Preece, second consecutive DNF for him. Joey Logano was involved. Martin Truex Jr. up against the wall. Daniel Suarez stopped on the apron. Heavy nose damage to that car. What happened? It happened in the back. Logano just got loose coming off of turn 2. Caught the 41. Went up in front of the 19. And also collected the 99. Buescher went to the middle to try to make a move. And I guess that just took the air off the spoiler of the 22. Turned him around. That's what started this. Buescher goes to the middle, Logano gets loose, tags the 41, they both go up on the outside wall, Truex piles in, and so does Suarez. 4 cars taken out on the backstretch here at Atlanta. Tough break for all of them. They'll be out of the race. We're ready to restart with 5 laps to go here at Atlanta. Eric Almirola will be your leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. Almirola moves up to the high side. Here comes Jones to the middle with a push from his teammate Noah Gregson. Almirola falls way back as Chastain moves up to 3rd. Legacy Motor Club cars take the top 2 spots as Eric Jones leads the field around Atlanta. And they fly by down the front stretch. Eric Jones continues to lead the field around Atlanta. Here they come, the 2 to go. Oh, and around they go at turn 1. Big wreck. Bubba Wallace, the pole sitter, was involved. As are Harrison Burton, his car up against the wall. Brad Keselowski down on the apron. William Byron up on top of the 12 of Ryan Blaney. He himself up on top of the 20 of Christopher Bell. And there's Ty Gibbs pinched up into the wall. And there's Christopher Bell underneath the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh. The outside lane had a run. And Bubba Wallace came up to try to block. But it was too late. That's typically what happens at super speedways. The late block is a common occurrence here at these type of tracks. And more often than not, they lead to big messes like this. Let's take a look at it again. Yep. Just blocked too late, came back down, tags the 6, and also collects a 21. Byron getting up into the wall, collects the 12, the 18, and the 20. You just can't protect against that run. Kyle Busch caught a little piece of that too. He ran into the back of, I believe that was Ryan Blaney. So he's also got a little bit of damage to the front of that car. But he should be able to continue. Doesn't look like he got that much damage in this. Outside lane just came up too fast. Bubba just couldn't block in time. He got hit multiple times in that. But he drove it away. So that team is not giving up. They started on pole, and they're devoted to finishing this race. And I commend them for that. Red flag has been brought out here at Atlanta. The cars have been stopped just shy of the start-finish line. There's Kyle Busch. He's got some damage to the front end of that car, but doesn't look like a lot. He should be able to repair it and keep going. Bubba Wallace has got more damage as he got hit multiple times. Hit the outside wall, came back down, tagged the 6 and collected the 21, came back up across the track, was hit again, came back down the track, and was hit again. It was like a pinball in that crash. So he's got significant damage to that car. But it's still drivable. So he'll keep going. Turn 2 is a mess. Cars scattered everywhere. Tough break for all of these guys. They're out of the race. Now the red flag has been lifted. We're back under yellow flag condition. There's Bubba Wallace on pit road. His crew repairing the front and the back of his car, as he got hit everywhere in that crash. And then there's Kyle Busch, having his right front repaired. Not a lot of damage. Tough break for both of them. They'll restart in the back. We're ready to restart in overtime. 2 laps to go here at Atlanta. If the leader takes the white flag under green, then the next flag ends the race, either the caution or the checkered. If a yellow comes out before the leader is able to make it to the white flag, then we'll line them up and we'll do it again. And we have unlimited attempts at a restart. Green flag is back out. Eric Jones picks up his teammate, Noah Gragson, as they pull away from the rest of the field. Here comes Ross Chastain with a monster run down the front stretch. He takes the lead as they take the white flag. He goes all the way back up to the top. Now all the way back down to the bottom of the block, and a big wreck behind them. Ross Chastain clears it and wins at Atlanta. Big wreck in turn 3 to end the race. Collecting Kevin Harvick, who was looking for at least a top 10 here, won't get that today. Chase Elliott was involved. Eric Almirola, the outside pole sitter, led a few laps and was at the front. His day ends on a tow truck. Chase Briscoe was also involved. What happened? So here comes Eric Almirola with the run. Chastain comes down to block, and Almirola just goes around. Wow, what a big hit for the 14. Here it is again. Inside line had a massive run down the backstretch, and then here comes Chastain, blocking and destroying that momentum. And I guess Harvick getting in the back of him and having their momentum destroyed just was too much for that car to handle, and it went around. So it goes around, collects the 9, they spin down the track and collect the 4 and the 14. The 9 and the 14 go into the outside wall hard. 14 hits the inside wall. And everyone else takes evasive action. Big wreck to end the race. Meanwhile, Ross Chastain is able to survive the mayhem and win at Atlanta. He'll take the checkered flag and burn it down. Congratulations to Ross Chastain for winning the Quaker State 400 at Atlanta. Here are your final results. Ross Chastain wins at Atlanta. Kyle Busch comes in second for the second week in a row after starting in dead last. Noah Gragson another strong top 5, and Austin Dillon with a top 5. Eric Jones rounds out the top 5. Legacy Motor Club and Richard Childress Racing being able to put all their cars in the top 5. Austin Cindric, Jenny Hamlin, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, and Bubba Wallace round out the top 10. Bubba Wallace was involved in the big one and managed to still finish top 10. But same can be said for Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Chase Briscoe, Harrison Burton, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Ryan Preece, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Larson. They all DNF. And here are your point standings after today. Kyle Larson just barely manages to hang on to the points lead as he and Kyle Busch are tied. But Kyle Larson has the tiebreaker due to him having a win and Kyle Busch having no wins. Denny Hamlin third in points, 17 behind the top 2. Eric Almirola down to 5th. Ross Chastain, with this win, moves up to 6th in the standings. Austin Cindric, with this top 10, moves up to 10th. And Noah Gragson moves up to 12th in the standings after being 20th coming into today. Tied with his teammate Eric Jones in 13th. Ryan Preece continues to fall down the standings. He currently sits 15th. Truex down to 17th. A lot of big names low in the point standings. That's the chaos of super speedways. They're the great equalizer. As the top drivers take big hits, allows the underdogs to take advantage and take all the points. And Austin Dillon moves up to 21st, leaving Christopher Bell with the unwanted title of last in points. Next week, we head to the Yard of Bricks, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. A far cry from the type of racing that we saw today. We're going road racing next week at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. I hope you enjoyed this race. This is Brandon Gomez in the booth, signing off.